We'll move on quickly now to Charles, who's our next presenter from MemVerge. Hi, Charles. I can see your screen.
All right.
There you go. Perfect.
You can see me.
Yes.
Good evening, everyone in London. I'm based in California, so it's morning time for me. Great to meet you here. I hope you can see my slides. I'll give you a 5-minute introduction of MemVerge and the big memory software that we produce. So what we are working on is an architectural shift in the computing model, where traditionally there are two buckets of data. There's memory, DRAM typically, and storage. DRAM is fast, but it is expensive, it is small, and it is volatile. Meaning if you turn off the machine, you lose the data on DRAM. Storage is persistent. It can persist data for the long term. It's cheaper, it's bigger, but it's much slower, roughly 1,000 times slower than DRAM. So because they are good in something and not so good in other things, you kind of place your active data in memory, and if it cannot fit, or if you want to save it for the long term, you move to storage. And data is being moved back and forth between those two buckets, and that is storage I/O. And as the world moving more and more to data-centric applications, especially real-time data-centric applications, this I/O, data movement between these two buckets, can often become the bottleneck of an application. And this problem only gets worse as we move forward. There are more and more data that are coming in at faster and faster speed. Now, the good news is that there's a new type of memory media. It's called persistent memory or non-volatile memory that just came to market. The first vendor is Intel, and other vendors will follow. And the Intel product is called Optane persistent memory, and the technology is shared with Micron, and there's some other memory makers are looking to make it in the next couple of years as well. And this new memory is bigger, it's cheaper, and it is persistent, and it is almost as fast as DRAM. So now it gives the room for our type of software that can virtualize this heterogeneous pool of memory, DRAM and Optane, so together, accessing them directly in a byte addressable way, we can deliver a big memory tier that is fast, that is big, that is cheap, that is non-volatile and highly available. So what this will make possible is eliminate storage I/O and allow your data-centric applications to live entirely in memory. The product we introduced is called Memory Machine. And this is basically delivering this memory virtualization and providing DRAM-compatible software-defined memory to the applications without requiring application change. We are a user space software that runs on Linux, and we intercept all the memory-related functional calls, and we deliver memory that are higher performance, that are lower cost, that are bigger, and that can also be persistent on demand. We invented a new mechanism that's called Zero I/O in-memory snapshot. It is similar to checkpointing that captures the entire application state, except it doesn't need to move it to storage, but rather persisting it in place in memory. And this allows you to create features such as autosave, such as thin clones. So essentially, it can allow you to roll back your application to any point in the past, either to increase productivity or providing high availability, or even for security reasons to provide forensics for a particular state of your application in the past time. And so it's providing all these capabilities that was not before possible. So with this technology, we can imagine a new world of big memory in the next 10 years. And this is going to sweep across all data centers, both the cloud data centers as well as on-prem data centers, where for the data-centric applications, all active data can be served out of big memory, rather than today between memory and performance tier of storage. The storage market will continue to exist, but it will be relegated to supply the capacity for secondary archival and backup purposes. And by doing this, I think we foresee unprecedented productivity and for data-centric applications, and a lot of things that today regarded impossible will become possible. So that's a quick sort of 5 minutes rundown of what we do, and happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Great, thanks. So Jackie, it looks like you've popped onto the screen there. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. Hi, Charles. That's great. Really, really interesting in what you've put together. Can I ask whether you've done anything about the memory leakage that can happen when data's at rest? Whether what you've got here is solving some of that problem. I'm thinking about it from a security point of view.
Yes. So what we do by delivering this software-defined memory tier is we will provide an administration portal into your memory. And we will show you through our GUI or through our API that you can see all the applications that are going on in the memory at any time in the past. And you can you can have better isolation between those applications in terms of memory usage. You can monitor all the memory usage, and you can track where the memory goes. So we believe this can enable capabilities that can help manage memory leaks more effectively as well.
Right, okay. And can you set any tolerances on that? So more than this, I want to investigate and set alerts?
Yes, you can. So there are alert capabilities that you can configure, and that can be sent to the admins.
Cool, thank you.
Great. I have one question here from Hamad asking, is this similar to Intel 3D memory?
Yes. So we providing a software layer that runs on top of various hardware. And Intel 3D XPoint, or Optane persistent memory is a marketing name for the 3D XPoint technology, is a enabling hardware units. So Intel is our biggest partner, and our software runs on top of Intel memory together with DRAM, and we sort of virtualize them and creating a hybrid layer of software-defined memory, delivering to the applications. The benefit is it's much bigger. So today it's 9 terabytes per 2-socket server, and it is about half the price. So the Intel 3D XPoint is about half the price per gigabytes as DRAM. So you can save cost by 30 to 40% by mix DRAM and PMEM together. And through our software innovation, we can deliver this at the DRAM speed. So essentially, this is taking the Intel 3D XPoint memory and make them DRAM fast and continue to use the persistence and lower cost capabilities of Optane memory.
And then Charles Clark follows on to that question, asking about HPM ristors and the similarity there.
Yeah, HPM ristors was one of the earlier experimentation on the storage class memory or persistent memory. Unfortunately, it is not yet commercially available. So it's not on the market yet. But when and if it does, we will support it. Essentially, our view is the memory world will become more heterogeneous versus the last 50 years. It's DRAM, one size fits all. In the next 10 years, I think it's going to gradually become more heterogeneous, and our software is designed to manage that heterogeneity of that new world.
Cool. I've got a couple of questions coming in now. And then Julian asks about, actually we'll go to Ollie's next. How can you intercept memory calls without a huge performance hit?
Right. So we are only intercepting memory allocation calls, memory free calls. So you can see it sort of as a control path of the memory management. We actually do not stay in the data path for the actual load store operations to the memory. So for the normal memory access, we add no overhead to it.
Great. And then can you talk a bit about your go-to-market? Which OEMs are you going to partner with for your initial commercially available products?
Sure. Our product is a software-only product. It's actually by annual subscription that you can buy it, and it can run on any servers you have. So all your favorite servers, HPE, Dell, Lenovo, Supermicro, you name it, that have your servers and our software run on top of it, as long as the server supports Optane, the new Intel memory. And we do have a growing set of OEM partners as well. So the first one we announced is with Penguin Computing, that if you buy the live data solution from Penguin Computing, our software is built into that enable the big memory service for that server. More will be upcoming, but even without that, it will run on any of the servers you have.
Great. Charles, that was super interesting. Thank you for presenting.
Thank you.